at thezone1059.com.
Hey. What's up? Get on in here. It is, a Thursday. Welcome in on this Thursday. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. What's happening? What do you want to get into today? You know, I missed getting to be here with you yesterday, so yesterday would have been the show right after you got to watch Jack Bauer, the supposed to be freshman phenom, pitch on Tuesday night for State. One inning good, one inning bad, but what did you think? Everybody was talking about that. So we didn't get to really talk about it yesterday, so we can do that today. I got some thoughts on it. And, of course, all of your midweek baseball is in the books now. And it was one of those where, I don't know, like it's kind of what you expected, right? Especially last night. Pretty much all blowouts around the SEC last night, and you forge ahead into the weekend. I don't think we have any Southeastern Conference teams that are going to play today, like any Thursday through Saturday stuff. I think it's all Friday through Sunday or scheduled to be. So you got that. We are here, less than 24 hours from Josh Hubbard kind of beating Auburn last night single-handedly. So really any of that's on the table. Whatever you want to get into is cool with me, and lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. How you doing? If you're on YouTube or Facebook or X out there on the live stream, howdy. So feel free to pop a comment in there. When you post a comment on the YouTube live stream or X or on Facebook, it shows up right here, really handy, in one nice, neat column, and then I can click it and it throws the comments up on the screen where we can all see it. So it's like a virtual way to plop down at the table, pull up a chair, have some coffee and join the conversation. You can text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. I hope you will. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. Hands down. Jalapeno and cheddar is what I had this morning at breakfast. I could have some of it every day and be a happy fellow. The number to text is 885-3776. 885-3776. So text away and give me a call. Phone line's open to you here. They're working. So call me on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state. Junction delis, convenience redefined. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. Number to call is 897-1059. Got it? Got it? Write it down. Commit it to memory. Jot it down and stick it in the glove box, even though there's no gloves in there. Probably never will be. It's still called the glove box. So put the number in there in case you ever need it. Again, 601-897-1059. All right, the first text I've gotten here today out of the chutes, Grumpy. He says, Matt, Grumpy is not even going to mention Josh Hubbard. Why not? He said, what a game. He says, but Grumpy is texting about baseball. Grumpy always enjoys Roosters calls, but his Monday assessment of the Bulldogs series with Hofstra was 90% wrong. All right, so this I don't take what you're saying, Grumpy, as some sort of taking a shot or trying to stir up an argument. I don't take it that way. You're just matter-of-factly saying that your opinion is that 90% of what Rooster said on Monday regarding state baseball was wrong or is wrong. So now we know where you stand. Grumpy hopes he was able to see the game with Troy, talking about Rooster, and last night's game with Alcorn, rethink his assessment. Signed, Hail State. Yeah, they looked good in the midweek, didn't they? They looked better in the midweek than they did on the weekend. And, they played so many different people. There was I heard a conversation earlier today about, depth, State's baseball depth. But I think, how do you argue? You call it depth, but this time of year, it's as much depth as it is. We got to play everybody, kind of see who turns it on when the lights come on. Because, right, up to that point, all you've done is practice and scrimmage. And, there is a difference. Jason in Flagstaff says on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. He says, if that Jack Bauer kid's walkout music isn't the ticking clock music from the 24 show, State's missing a boat. I don't know what the walkout music was. You'd have to ask somebody who was there. Maybe they know. There might be a way to look that up. But he does wear number 24. So it makes sense. Jack Bauer. He can throw it hard. Scott from Philadelphia. Jack Bauer, once he gets a few innings under his belt, is going to be tough. Hashtag Hail State. Well, and let me tell you this, Scott and Jason, and we're talking about Jack Bauer. So they bring him in to the game against Troy in what, the 8th inning? Yeah. And he's, everybody's excited. It's like there's this energy in the stadium just to watch him pitch, and then he walks out there and he certainly does kind of look like a kid out of high school. He's still really skinny, but lightning in his arm. He didn't touch 100 on the gun, but he hit 99 a couple of times, and he does not look like he tries very hard. And the story is they've worked with him. Parker and the staff have worked with him, and just for, partly because of, health, longevity, but also for the movement on the fastball, they've gotten him to settle in around that, back it off to that 97, 98, 99 miles an hour, because ramping it up, trying to hit 100 on the gun, and in his case, he can ramp it up and hit 100 on the gun. It's more of it has less movement. And so then it's just a timing thing for a hitter, but it was like there's a little more run and a little more movement on the fastball when it's backed off, throttled down to about 98. And it sounds stupid, but it's true. Okay, so that's what he's doing very intentionally. That's where he's kind of trying to live, and then mixing in that big sweeping slider, which I think the second batter that he faced was left-handed, and he throws that slider to him, and you're like, what? You got no chance on that. You have to – the only way you'd even have any chance is you guess that it's coming and you guess right, and then somehow still time it up and put the bat on the ball. But so for him, it's all about throwing strikes, and you saw it in the 9th inning, right? It's just all about throwing strikes and hitting spots and getting – like you say, because he's still really young, isn't he? Like really, really, really young. So he's got a long way to go. Super potential. And what a weapon in the midweek to be able to use him at the end for an inning or two. But here's the thing that jumped out to me. They can't catch him. The guy, I almost felt bad for the catcher behind the plate because he could not catch him. Go back and watch that 8th inning. And I could look up the stats here on the number of pitches that he threw. At one point, he was up around 14, so he probably was 15, 16, 17 pitches in that 8th inning that he threw. I would bet you that at least 10 of them, if not more, let's say 10 of 16 hit the ground. And he didn't, and I'm saying it hit the glove first and then hit the ground. He couldn't catch him. He could not catch him. So it's almost like not only does he have to figure it out, they got to figure out who can catch him. It's like throwing it against a backstop. Bang, there it goes, go pick it up. Bang, there it goes, go pick it up. What'd you send me, Jason? Is it a 24 intro to the show? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's a good show. 20 years ago when that first came along, I watched like season 1 of 24. It was pretty good. Scott said, Neil Price said the same thing about his fastball. Yeah, he's kind of, I mean, imagine that. You can hit 100. It looks good, but you're going to get more swings and misses and actually less solid contact if you back it off to 98, and then it's moving a little more. Think about that. Isn't that crazy? So for him, it really is just about building up experience. And with a talent like that, why would you try to run him out there too often? They're going to be, judicious with when and how many innings and where and get that experience built up because the potential's through the roof. And you got to find somebody that can catch the ball when he's throwing it because it was all over the place. Just getting started. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend.
59 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team in Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Hey to everybody on the live stream. JS290 on YouTube said Neil Price said Keyshawn Murphy was a grad transfer from MSU to Auburn. Really? Okay. If Neil said it, it's it. Neil's not in the business of broadcasting a bunch of falsehoods, right? But so grad transfer, good on him. So he graduated and go to Auburn. Maybe it'll work out. Good luck. Gene on Facebook says, best first half of basketball my eyes have ever witnessed. Now, Gene, you talking about Josh Hubbard, right? What do you have, 35 in the first half? JS290 also said a couple of MSU baseball players said that they thought Hofstra will be a tournament team. Yeah, maybe so. Last year, Hofstra, whoever they had on their team, I don't know. I don't know how many are back, if it's all new transfers, I don't know. You know, they did talk about this weekend that last year they played a bunch of freshmen, so some of those are growing up this year. But they were pretty competitive. They had some competitive arms, good breaking stuff. They're coached by a former major leaguer. They did put the bat on the ball, so maybe they'll be good in their league. We'll see. We will see. They were competitive against State. That's right. Yeah, probably not today, Will. Will said, we're going to complain about baseball today, or nope, let's go over scores and headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. That's mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. Yeah, State beat Auburn last night 91-85. They were up by 16 at halftime. Was it 16? Yeah. They were up by 16 at halftime. End up with a 6-point win, but Josh Hubbard finished with 46 points and 9 rebounds. Y'all might have listened and watched. I had a photo shoot last night in Tupelo. It lasted for 2 hours, and so I was only tracking it, on the score. When's the last time somebody at State scored 46 points in a game? What did he hit, 10 threes? He's 10 out of 16 from 3. 46 points, 9 rebounds. Heck of a ball game. State improves to 5-8 in the SEC. How about that? A basketball headline. Y'all proud? It's about time. Ole Miss got another loss. It's tough. Look, they were scrappy, played well on the road, fought hard, but a 3-point loss at A&M, 80-77. Headline from the college football world. Well-traveled quarterback Jaden Rashada has settled his lawsuit against former Florida football coach Billy Napier and a school booster. That's according to court documents. Rashada sued Napier and the Gators and their booster Hugh Hathcock a couple of years ago. He claimed that both of them defrauded him by backing out of promises for a name, image, and likeness contract worth as much as $13.85 million. The lawsuit also included a former Florida football staff member and Hathcock's auto dealership as defendants. They settled it. We don't know the terms. He transferred around, been to a couple of schools. He's at State now. Bulldog. All right, headline from Major League Baseball. This is for all of us who are baseball fans who care about cheating and don't like cheaters. A scheduled spring fraud trial for 2 Cleveland Guardians pitchers that are accused of colluding with sports bettors to rig bets and betray America's pastime will likely be postponed until October. Federal judge said that yesterday, and the two men pled not guilty to a rewritten indictment. The pitchers are Emmanuel, 𝐻𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 a not guilty plea. They spoke Spanish. They entered the plea through a translator to a rewritten indictment in a Brooklyn federal court. So they conspired with bettors, rigging pitches. We were going to have a trial. We're not. It'll likely now be in October. And so those are your headlines, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. MortgageManMS.com. Grumpy texted me back on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, Matt, according to Grumpy's records, MSU has used 14 pitchers in 5 games. Many freshmen and sophomores talk about depth. Yeah, that's what I saw. I mean, it pretty much emptied the roster, and everybody got significant playing time by the time the 5th game was over, which was last night against Alcorn. By the way, those scores, okay, I told you we'd do scores and headlines. Here you go. Bunch of blowouts for SEC teams on a Wednesday night. State 19-0 over Alcorn. Ole Miss was 18-3 over Jackson State. Vandy beat Eastern Michigan 16-2. Vandy's hitting a bunch of home runs. I don't know if you saw that. Now, Alabama struggled with Alabama State in Tuscaloosa. It was a 2-1 ball game, but Alabama won. They got out-hit 7-5. Alabama State out-hit them 7-5, but the Tide win. LSU beat Nichols 12-1. Georgia over USC Upstate 12-6. And South Carolina over Gardner-Webb 12-2. Southern Miss didn't play last night. Did we talk about it a couple of nights ago? They went on the road. Yeah, they went to Selah and Hammond, southeastern Louisiana, and beat them 3-1. So they won their midweek. So we're off to the weekend now. So those are your scores. I'll look at those stats too. I'm curious, Grumpy, just how many, what the actual number is, and how many people have played. Oh yeah, talking about Jack Bauer, the freshman that pitched in a couple of innings against Troy. Well, not officially a couple of innings. What, about an inning and a half against Troy on Tuesday night. He threw in the 8th and the 9th. In the 8th, he was dominant. They just couldn't touch him, and he looked like lightning and everything you'd heard about. Throwing 99 from the left side with a big sweeping slider, and then struggled to throw strikes and got tagged with back-to-back, not balks, but pitch clock violation things or something or another. I don't know. And so they went and got him after the bases got loaded. But thankfully, he had a big lead, and it didn't melt down on him. But, he wasn't as sharp in the 9th as he was. So he's got to get a lot of experience, but super-duper talent. Nick texted about him, and he said 90-mile-per-hour backdoor slider from a lefty is unhittable. It's insane. Well, and that's the thing, right? It's not just the way it looked in the 8th the other night against Troy. It's not your typical backdoor slider, right? Because it's paired with a 99 fastball. I think the first guy he faced, his second pitch, he almost hit him in the chin with a 99. Right-hander, right? He's like, barely gets out of the way. And then you get a backdoor slider, but it's that big sweeping thing. He throws it, it goes from one batter's box to the other. I mean, even if you didn't have a great fastball, that slider is great when you locate it. You just got to get a catcher who can locate. Ready Teddy texted the show. And he said, Neil Price is the best basketball radio announcer in the business, in my opinion. Well, Teddy, I'm glad you said it. I say it, and I'm biased, and so I don't know if everybody listens to me, but I agree with you. The great thing about Neil is, you don't have to be at the game. You can listen to it, and you get the game as a listener. You get it, which what that means informationally. If he says this happened, or he says the ball's there, or it hit there, or whatever, it happened. And two, you also get the appropriate inflection and rise and fall of emotion throughout the ball game. He's really, really, really good. I agree with you, Teddy. Jason in Flagstaff wanted to ask Beaver if they could mix the 24 clock with the countdown and music of the 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢 code. What is that? I'll have to get an explanation of this because I'm an old guy and I don't know. Coming to your texts, Jonathan, others on the text line coming up. Also on the live stream, Hail State Fan, Will, and others. So rolling along here in hour one on this Thursday. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's
Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away.
Sports the Mississippi way with you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think. Right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt. Jonathan texted in on the Country Pleasing text line. He said between Jack this past week and the 3 freshmen last night, we have 4 freshmen pitching in there from 96 to 100. What are the numbers? So Grumpy brought it up that he said it was 14 pitchers, according to his count, in 5 games who've gotten a little action, gotten to throw some innings. Let's see. They put up 11 on there. No, I'm wrong. These particular stats that I'm looking at are not updated through the midweek. That was only from the weekend. So you used 11 by the weekend. I mean, last weekend, according to these. So I don't have them updated. On the basketball number last night for Josh Hubbard, you know, I wondered aloud, when's the last time somebody scored 46 points in a ball game? Been a long time. So here's some stuff from the official post-game wrap-up on the school's website. Historic performance from Josh Hubbard. He set the school record for three-pointers in a single game with 10, as well as he set the school record for scoring in a conference game with 46. So the answer to that would be 46 points in an SEC game. Nobody's ever done it before. So that's a school record. The other thing, though, that jumped out was this. His 46 points last night set a new career high, 1 point short of tying MSU legend Bailey Howell's all-time single-game scoring record of 47, which was set 1958-59 season. So 58-59 in a non-conference deal, Bailey Howell put up 47 against somebody, 46 last night. And so we're not quite, but almost 70 years ago. I mean, we're just shy of 70 years ago when that happened. That's how long. Let's see. First 20 minutes, Hubbard had 35 points and made 9 threes. He now owns the most points scored in a first half by Division I players since 2020. So it's been a while. Teddy, I hope you got the link. I sent you there where you can listen to Neil if you want to. Sven in Berlin, welcome to the show on YouTube. He says, Hail State, Auburn is just a bad hoops team, and their coach will get fired at the end of next season. Yeah, man. Doesn't seem a little odd that I have not really paid close attention. I'm just strictly at a distance. But you go, okay, so Bruce Pearl hangs it up off season. They immediately give it to the kid, his son, the head coaching job to his son. What's up with all that? It ain't working out too well so far. You wouldn't expect it. I mean, first time head coach. Hail State fans said Hubbard is Jeff Malone, all-American talent that needed a better supporting cast around him. Yeah, and look, I This is only a speculative sort of thought that goes and flashes real quick in my head when we start talking about this. But in this era right now, Hail State fan, how does it work? If you have one player who I don't know how much money Josh Hubbard makes to play for State. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm only assuming it's a lot because if it isn't, it should be, right? I mean, of all the players getting paid something, name one that's carrying the thing more than he is individually. Okay, so I don't know what he makes, but whatever that is, you go, well, if you could see the numbers, I don't know. It could be this, it could be other teams that you could find a situation where it's almost like a Tom Brady needing to restructure his contract so that you can put a better team around him. Some players do, some players don't. It's one of the knocks on Dak the last few years in Dallas is, why wouldn't he? But I'm not a money guy. I don't know. I'm just saying. In the era of pay for play, which 100% we're in, how much then of that idea of better team around a star player has to do with how much money is available and how much he's making? I don't know what the numbers are. I'm just saying it's a purely speculative thought, but you have to consider it because we are in a full-on pay-for-play era. Okay, got it. Jason, thank you. Jason out in Arizona says that's a wrestling reference. It goes back to Chris Jericho's debut in WWE with the Millennium Countdown clock. And when it hit zeros, the absolutely spectacular theme music of Jericho started. One of, if not the best entrances in wrestling history. Jason, I'll look it up in the break and become familiar. Thanks to YouTube. Jonathan texted in and said, I'm sorry. We already had that. J-Rock texted and said the one game performance by Josh Hubbard makes you think just how good Maravich was. He averaged over 44 a game for 3 straight years with no three-point shots. They didn't have a three-point line. It's the numbers from Pete Maravich's career at LSU. It's hard to even fathom. It's really difficult to wrap your head around it, sort of kind of like you say, because it's out there. Like you said, they didn't have three-point shots. He averaged 44 a game for 3 years. It's just, what was that? Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around it. Sven says on YouTube that Auburn right now is not a tournament team. What did he say? After the win over in-state rival Alcorn, we're looking forward to the weekend. Sven says he liked the Parker kid and some of those relievers. Yeah, I was going to look at the numbers, but the official stats, when you click them on hailstate.com, have not updated with midweek stats. I don't think I'm missing it. Sven says, here is my reaction to pay for play. Florida State's athletic programs have around $450 million in debt. How is this even possible without any consequences for the front office when half of the money comes from taxpayers? See, again, Sven, I don't know. Like it's over my head. I don't know. But I'm like you. I can easily look at it and go, excuse me, say that again. What was that number? Yeah, it's upside down. It's upside down and broken. And what I'm telling you is if it doesn't get fixed, and I don't see any fix in sight, right now lawyers and street agents are running the show and ruining everything. And what I'm telling you is I fear that you don't have, hey, don't worry. There's not a rant coming. I'm just going to say this and we're moving back on to other stuff. What I fear is people will look you in the eye right now and go, hey, college sports, college football, it's dying or it's dead. And people will then go, no, it's not, because there's still people buying tickets and going to the games and some of the TV ratings are okay. Talk to me in 10 to 15 years. If something doesn't drastically change, talk to me in 10 years. we're going to look up then, and I'm just telling you, it's going to be rough. It's going to look rough. All right. Rolling along with you here on this Thursday. Midweek baseball in the books. Looking ahead of the weekend. I don't know much about Delaware State's opponent this weekend. There's some preview stuff out there. Weather is going to be important, and we'll take a look at all that too. Plus your comments on the live stream on YouTube, Facebook, X, and elsewhere. Your text, your phone calls. We'll get them all in. Plenty of time left on today's show. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshots.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone. because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. All right, so this is for Jason in Flagstaff. We were talking earlier, it's like stream of consciousness here. We had Jack Bauer pitching for state. Same name as the main character of the show 24. He happens to wear number 24. Wondered about the 24 theme with the countdown as a walkout deal for the pitcher for state. And then he says, well, maybe you'd have the countdown and add it to this, which is a wrestling entrance and intro for somebody named Jericho that also had a countdown. And so I didn't know. And this is it. He had a countdown. And then here comes the guy. And I think this is what Jason suggested for Jack Bauer. I haven't had time to talk to Beaver about it, to this point, to find out if Beaver is a Jericho fan or not. But there it is. What'd you think, Jason? Isn't that what you're talking about? Speaking of Jason in Flagstaff, he says, mind-boggling how Auburn, John Cohen specifically, let Bruce Pearl name his kid as a successor, and they just went along with it. Is that what happened? Quite honestly, I knew it happened. I didn't follow the reasoning for it. It's like I got enough things to laugh at often enough, Jason, that I didn't need to visit Auburn websites. Because that would be really funny. So is that what happened? Bruce Pearl got to name his successor. It just happens to be his firstborn or whatever. Grumpy texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, Matt, talking about Josh Hubbard's salary at MSU, Grumpy is planning on selling some of his Walmart stock this fall and making a donation to help keep Hub at MSU for his senior year. But don't tell Mrs. Grumpy. Signed, Hale State. Well, Grumpy, should I have read that on the air? Maybe I didn't preview it. Did she just hear? Grumpy, are you on your back porch like normal, eating a country pleasing lunch? Eating a country pleasing lunch on your back porch? And she just overheard me read that. So now the cat's out of the bag. Anyway, Grumpy, look, if it's your Walmart stock, it's your money. Do what you want with it. I'm not judging you one way or the other. If you want to spend it on, an all-time scorer, spend it. Go right ahead, I guess. Yeah, that noise, that's more hot coffee in the thermos, in the mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com. Get your coffee there. Single origin from all over the world. And it's the real deal. It's not one of these sham outfits that's the same coffee and they're just putting different countries on it. If it says Colombia, if it says Kenya, if it says Costa Rica, that's where those beans came from. You hear me? We can talk to the one who flew down there and got them. And then the blends that they have, they'll sell big, large bags of it. I get the whole bean and grind it myself. You're not going to run out anytime soon. Get your coffee there at highpointroasters.com. Let's see. Sven said, I can't, hey, Sven, apologies on that one. I think the words maybe on the predictive text got you, and I couldn't quite make up or down on that. Bulldog, Mississippi said, what's the whole story with our new quarterback, Jaden Rashada? He's asking Sven. He says he tends to know this stuff, but I had this earlier in the headlines. Bulldog, Mississippi. Jaden Rashada has settled his lawsuit against former Florida football coach Billy Napier and a Florida booster. Okay, that's according to court documents and Rashada's attorney. Says they have settled their lawsuit. Which we don't know what the settlement is. I mean, the assumption is they would have paid him off. But at the middle of this deal, he was suing them because he says that both Billy Napier and Florida booster Hugh Hathcock, he's like an auto dealership guy, that both of them defrauded him because they backed out of promises they made for name, image, and likeness contract that was worth as much as $13.85 million. Well, Rashada signed last month to play for Mississippi State this coming year. Presumably, compete with, but be the backup to Kamario Taylor. He's been at Arizona State, Georgia, and most recently Sacramento State. And you know, Napier is not even the Florida coach anymore. So that's what it is. What's up, Dale? Dale gave us a hey, Matt on Facebook. Hey to you. Thanks for tuning in. Baseball today, I mentioned earlier, let me get this straight. All right. I mentioned this to you earlier that I don't think we have any SEC teams that are starting their baseball weekend here on this Thursday. Yeah, it's all Friday, Saturday, Sunday around the SEC coming up. At least that's what I'm seeing. You let me know if I'm seeing the wrong thing, but that's what I see. Of course, State's going to have Delaware in Starkville this weekend. Ole Miss is going to have Missouri State in there. Missouri State is generally a pretty good baseball team, good baseball program. They are 3-1 this year. They won a series at Louisiana Lafayette, which, you know, is a good baseball school in the Sun Belt, too, and it's a hard place to play. Missouri State went to Lafayette, took 2 out of 3. They had a chance to sweep them. Missouri State won the first 2 games, 8-2 and then 13-12, and then lost a 2-run ball game. So the Raging Cajuns salvaged the game. But then they turn around and beat Oral Roberts 11-0 in the midweek. So Missouri State goes in there 3-1, and a pretty competitive team year in and year out. So that could be a good non-conference challenge for Ole Miss this weekend in Oxford. Elsewhere around the SEC, Auburn goes on the road. It's a neutral site deal at Globe Life. Their first opponent out there is Kansas State. Texas in Austin is going to host Michigan State this weekend. A&M hosts Penn. Florida will host Kennesaw State this weekend. Alabama hosts Rhode Island. Oklahoma, red hot Oklahoma, will host Coppin State. Yep. Missouri is in Fort Myers, Florida. They play New Haven. What's that? Tennessee is going to host Kent State this weekend. Georgia will host Samford this weekend. That could be an interesting series. Samford's competitive. They almost beat Alabama in the midweek, but you just never know. Arkansas is going to host Xavier. Kentucky's playing away from home this weekend. They go to Evansville. Vandy's going to host Marist in Nashville this weekend. Vandy's 3-2. You know, they dropped 2 games in the opening weekend, but then they won the midweek. They've hit a bunch of home runs, though. They got a couple of guys that are in the home run leaders, you know, in terms of around the country. LSU is playing in Jacksonville, Florida at a neutral site. Maybe it's a minor league ballpark down there. I don't know. I assume it probably is. But anyway, they're playing Indiana, so it's probably one of these round robin deals. But their opponent tomorrow is Indiana. And South Carolina is going to host Army this weekend. What about Southern Miss? They got Purdue tomorrow. They're out in Round Rock, so they're going to play a different opponent each day this weekend. First up for Southern Miss is they play Purdue tomorrow. More thoughts and opinions from you. What do you think about the baseball weekend coming up? Let me know. We do have, 1 hour in the books, hour 2 coming up. We do have in hour 2 a couple of historical references you're going to want to catch, including one that involves your favorite ballpark snack, the old-fashioned Cracker Jack. Stick around for that and more. Here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state.
Where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time. And here's the pitch. It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Glad you're here. Get on in here. Hey to you on the live stream, YouTube, what's up, Facebook, X. Any of those, just type in a comment, post it. It pops up here on the screen. Nice, neat column. I can click those. It pops up on the screen where everybody can see it, and you can be a part of the show that way. You can also text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves around the Southeast. It is the best. Ate it for breakfast, jalapeno and cheddar. Number to text is 885-3776. Got it? 885-3776. Or you may do us a favor. Let us hear your voice. Call me on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state. The number to call is 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Now, in hour one, Grumpy texted in that he was planning on selling some of his Walmart stock so that he can afford to pay Josh Hubbard to come back and play his senior year basketball for Mississippi State. But then he said, don't tell Mrs. Grumpy, and the problem is I said it on the air. Now, I worried if I let the cat out of the bag and maybe I got him in trouble. He says she didn't hear it because she is mowing grass on February the 19th. I want y'all to come make some grass grow in my yard. Because we got, dormant, dead, mud. That's the three kinds of grass. That's the three kinds of grass I have. We do have some dormant, but don't have to mow yet. Unnamed texter, we were looking at the baseball matchups, said that Tennessee had better watch out. Michigan State took 2 out of 3 from Louisville last weekend. Yeah, that one looked interesting. What are they? Did they win their midweek? Because I thought I saw that they're 3-1. So I'm assuming then they're 2 out of 3 last weekend, and then they won their midweek. Yeah, 2-1. So they haven't played a midweek. Michigan State. So they go 2 out of 3 last weekend, and then on to Texas, not Tennessee, Texas. You said UT. I thought Tennessee. It was Texas. Texas and Michigan State. Got it. Yeah, so text, call, comment. Staying connected to you because of C Spire. The number one network in Mississippi is C Spire. Customer inspired. Check them out, cspire.com. Text me, call me, comment on the live stream. Delta Tide fan texted the show. Jealous. He went fishing today. He said he caught 17 this morning. Stocked a new pond with 12 of them, and he's filleted 5. Using a swim bait, Texas rig lizard. Not a live lizard. Although, that'd be great. Jig and chunk, or we used to call it jig and pig. You had the jig and you put the chunk on there in a wacky worm. The biggest fish he caught was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. But that's a nice little chunk there, speaking of chunks. So no huge fish, but a bunch of them. I bet that was fun. I bet it was fun. Ready Teddy texted the show. He says, with what Josh Hubbard is going to make next season, he probably will not go pro. Probably not, right? So, I'd be interested to talk to some of the basketball experts and the NBA guys, is Josh Hubbard a surefire NBA prospect? I mean, I don't know. Is he? Because if it's not surefire, then what you say, Teddy, it's not ain't no probably to it. He's definitely going to make more than he would, trying to do the pro thing. But I'm not an expert on, just what kind of draft prospect he is in terms of the NBA. And I guess it would just come down to his size. I mean, I would guess. What do you think about this headline? Now, we got full-on headlines, and I'll kind of recap our headlines from hour one coming up in a minute. But I saw this over the commercial break coming into hour number two. What do you think about this? ESPN, that's the proper name. Around here, I refer to them as the worldwide leading acronym. They are replacing Sunday Night Baseball with the WNBA. It is being called, they're going to call it Women's Sports Sundays on ESPN. They're going to use games from the WNBA and the NWSL. Is that the Women's Soccer League? To fill the coverage on Sunday nights, showcasing the world's top women's basketball league and one of the world's top soccer leagues. So, talk about something being different now. Not all change is bad. Just because it's different than what we grew up with doesn't necessarily mean it's worse. But I just know, man, for them, no more Sunday night baseball. It's going to be women's sports, women's basketball, and women's soccer instead in that time slot. What do you think about that? How do you think that's going to go? I mean, I think that they had... Isn't it being called a mutual split between Major League Baseball and ESPN on that Sunday night package deal? I mean, I think it is. Hey, speaking of baseball, you got to hear this. I was looking up historical references, most of it in the sports world, things like that. On this day, February the 19th, 1913, Cracker Jack, yep, like from the baseball song, Cracker Jack's added its first prize into the box. So the deal with Cracker Jack's putting a prize in a box, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, take me out of the ballgame. The first time they put a prize in the box was February 19th, 1913. Almost 1 year later, March the 1st of 1914, 1 year later after they started putting prizes in a Cracker Jack box, a future broadcaster was born named Harry Carey. And some 65 to 70 years after that or more, that guy who was born almost to the day a year after Cracker Jack started putting prizes in the box, Harry Carey was calling a Cubs game one day and got into this.
I don't know what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box? Here's the pitch. That might not sound important to some people, but when you're a little kid, especially from humble origin, and they cheat you out of a prize, there's a bouncing ball. Second baseman has the Barbary over to first. It's hard to think in laudatory terms of the product.
I think if there was an occasional box of Cracker Jacks that found no prizes for the little Harry Carey many years ago.
You got that right. And boy, when a box of Cracker Jack to me meant a lot of money. Here's a pitch, bounce foul. That's the most asinine marketing I've ever heard of. 1 ball, 1 strike. These guys say, well, you sing about Cracker Jack. I said that I only sing it because it's in the song. Here's a pitch foul back. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even to this day, some youngsters who buy a box of Cracker Jack don't find a prize in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, here's a pitch foul out of play. Why not talk about commercial products that don't do what they represent to do?
Man. 2 minutes of being angry, still angry at Cracker Jacks, the late, great Harry Carey. Hour 2. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
Worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. Yeah, Will, I thought about that too. Anytime I even hear the real Harry Carey, like we did on that sound clip from back in the 80s, he went on the Cracker Jacks rant. Hey, everybody. And it's Will Ferrell on SNL. And like, I'm guilty of it. And so many people always say Harry Carey. And you start doing the hey, everybody. And we're not actually emulating Harry Carey. We're impersonating Will Ferrell, emulating Harry Carey from Saturday Night Live. I'm the world's worst at that. It is funny, though. It's one of the best things he ever did. That and Elf. It's one of the best things he ever did. You can comment, be a part of the show lots of different ways. Live stream, YouTube, Facebook, X. Just post a comment. It pops up. I see it. We'll put it on the screen here. Get you into the conversation. That way you can also text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. That stands for Country Pleasin' Sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. 885-3776. And call me on the junction phone, 897-1059. That's the number to call. Now, if you're listening, watching, whatever, and you need those numbers, you don't have them, on the live stream, whether it's live or a past live stream, it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. You can always go back and find the numbers there if you need them. Sven says on YouTube, all Mississippi State has to do is take care of themselves in baseball. Don't lose midweek games. Figure out your best lineup. 7 pitchers you trust until SEC play starts. Yeah, I had that thought too, Sven. Like looking back at a couple of the good years they had there for a while when they had those consecutive trips to Omaha and 5 straight super regionals and stuff. And one of the hallmarks of that was they rarely had stretches of letdowns in the midweek and non-conference stuff. Right, like, the SEC is going to be a grind. It is for everybody. You know that. But if you just don't have major hiccups at home in non-conference stuff and in midweek stuff, you just take care of that, you're almost like a step ahead because RPI is really going to take care of you in SEC play. So I was thinking about that too. You look at this team, it might even be one of those where they're very talented. Nobody's to the point yet of you watch them and go, oh, they're a surefire bet for Omaha or making to the finals in the College World Series. You're not there yet, but you go, okay, they're super talented. I mean, they really are, and super deep. And if one of the ways that translates is you're not having the hiccups in the midweek to Troy. You figure out a way, to win the non-conferences at home and take care of that. And maybe the talent level takes care of that to a degree. Does that make sense? I think that's probably true. Yeah, regarding Harry Carey, Will said, we only hear 2 minutes of anger towards Cracker Jack. I think old Harry had been steaming for 40 years on that point. Sounded like it, didn't it? And see, the time frame worked out. Like I told you, on this day in 1913 is when they started putting prizes into Cracker Jacks. Well, he's born 1 year later. So as he's coming up, it's still in the fledgling years of Cracker Jack's operation of putting prizes in the box. In those first 5 years, little Harry Carey's first 4 years of his life, good and well, they had some boxes that didn't have a prize in it. They hadn't worked out the kinks yet. And he'd been saving it for a long time, and then finally he decided to let it loose. I guess maybe he had reached a point where he felt like they wouldn't fire him if he just if he just let it out exactly how he feels about it. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe. All right, over to the phone, the Junction phone. Junction delis across the state, fueled by Prince Oil Company. On line one, Dog Tired. What's up, Dog Tired? Thanks for calling.
Oh, man, how you guys doing?
Great.
Good. Hey, I was calling to see if Coach Polk is doing okay. He used to sit in every now and then in the color analyst, and I hadn't heard him in a while. I'm just, I know Coach Williams has had a few issues here lately, and the guys get older, just kind of doing a welfare check to see how they're doing.
I know that I heard him some Tuesday night on there with Neil some on Tuesday night. Yeah. I didn't
hear it. So
I had plenty of time to hear it, Dog Tired, because get this. So while the game had like in the first hour or so of the game Tuesday afternoon, I was driving from Madison. I was in the Madison area, and I needed to go to Vicksburg for that night. And when I get a chance, Dog Tired, I always choose, if I have time, to go country roads and drive through the country in places I haven't seen rather than on the big highways, if I have time. So I went, whatever that highway is, 4, whatever, it goes by Madison Central High School, and it cuts around back there, and it'll take you all the way to Flora. So I went from Madison to Flora through the country, and then from Flora to Edwards on like 22, and then from Edwards to Vicksburg, and just drove through the country to go to Vicksburg that way. Well, between Madison and Flora, I got behind a school bus. And so it took forever stopping, kids getting off, being safe. So I had plenty of time to listen to Coach Polk on the radio on that baseball call. That's why I remember it.
Well, good. Well, you mentioned in handling our business in midweek and all that, and of course, Alcorn, I felt sorry for those guys, but anyway, wasn't there a season since around 2005 or 2007, somewhere in there, that we didn't lose a series? Something like that?
You mean like non-conference or all year?
No. The SEC.
Okay.
That we didn't lose a series, or weren't swept. Put it that way.
Okay.
In any.
I don't know.
We need about that same. We need about that same production this year. Yeah. Where I was getting at.
Yeah. No, I got you. I was thinking about this. I thought this was where you were going, but I'm going to go back and look it up. But I think that 21 season, the year that State won the whole thing, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to go back and look. But I think State did not lose a midweek game that year, the whole year. And it was one of those where it seemed like a little thing, but to go undefeated in the midweek games the whole year was an indication, of how deep that baseball team was and that it was a good team. Yeah, it was an indicator for them. I'll go back and look for sure. But, yeah, the one as far as not losing a series, I'm not sure. That would definitely do it. If you win, you make sure you win all your baseball series in the SEC. You're a top 8 seed just about every year.
Especially not get swept, and we got swept several times in Lamona's last years, right? So
yeah,
anyway,
that's right.
You guys have a good day.
All right,
good hearing you.
You too. Appreciate the phone call.
See you. Bye.
And State this year. Midweek stuff this year. So let's say you go transitive property, you need to go undefeated in your midweeks. Well, who is it? So the first 2 were Troy and Alcorn State. That went well this week. You'll have Austin P in the midweek after this weekend. You'll have Southern Miss in Hattiesburg on March the 3rd, Tuesday night, March the 3rd. You go to their place for a midweek. Now, again, that's a really good baseball team. You go to their place. Frankly, win or lose, RPI is going to take care of you on that one. That's a good road trip. But Again, we're saying if you go undefeated in midweek games, there's a road trip to Southern Miss. Biloxi is a midweek game against Tulane a week after that. Jackson State, Southern Miss again, you'll host them late March, midweek. Grambling, UAB, Samford at their place in Birmingham, Memphis and Starkville. I guess, Ole Miss at Trustmark is technically a midweek because it's not a conference game. Nichols State, and those are your midweek games. That's it. That's the ones you have on the schedule. And if it doesn't rain, you get them all in. It might rain a couple out. You never know. But it's a really good point. You take care of those. That's one big step towards hosting. It is. All right. We'll recap headlines coming back after this in the Bureau. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com,
And let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together.
About them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. We'll recap our headlines from the day coming up. One of those, though, that popped in late was the announcement that the worldwide leading acronym is doing away with Sunday Night Baseball, replacing it with Women's Sports Sundays. And so the WNBA and the National Women's Soccer League. J-Rock texted in and said, well, at least now I know which channel I will not be watching on Sunday nights. Yeah, I don't have Sunday Night Baseball. Now, you know what? They still... That the company still has an in, right? Because now there's some sort of relationship with the MLB.com where you got to have like a dual subscription to both ESPN and to MLB in order to access all the games. Something like that. Some weird thing. We'll figure that out on the fly. I will just tell you though, if it is though as simple as, there's a membership, it involves both those together, and I can get all the games, and I'm not blacked out from any of the games, I'm okay with that. I mean, that's been the issue, is some games here, some games there. Oh, here's a whole bunch of games you can't watch because of where you live. How dumb is that? That's dumb. Dumb to dumb. I'm just glad if they are indeed doing away with that. John in Rolling Fork texted the show. He said, too bad we don't have characters like Harry Carey or John Madden calling games anymore. Could listen to them all day even if the game was a blowout. Yeah. And I think, John, it would be worth considering too. And I wonder, I think all of our attention spans were trained much differently back then too. So we sort of look back at it. I know I do. I look back at it at times, a bit nostalgically, to say the Braves on WTBS with Ernie Johnson Sr. and Skip Carey and Pete Van Wieren. And calling those Braves games consistently, day in and day out, every year for years in the 80s and parts of the 90s. And at that time of my life, I'm living in an era where, my attention span was not trained by, shorter reels and videos and things that we enjoy on our phones and content everywhere and podcasts. And you know what I mean? Like it was a television channel. You sit down for a whole game and it's just kind of what you did. I know now there'll be every now and then I'll pull up an old Braves game that's something I remember. Like recently it was the 4 home run game by Bob Horner against the Expos in 1986. Well, that whole game broadcast on WTBS the day it happened is available on YouTube. And I went back, pulled up, and started watching it. And it's fun for a little while. But man, about 5 innings into it, I'm like, I'm having a hard time hanging on here. I'm ready to skip forward to hear the home run calls and move on to something else. Because my attention span is like everybody else, even though I'm getting older, is trained to move on quickly, So I think that's part of it too. Is it would be hard to develop some of those type of characters, I think, for that reason, is we don't hang in there with them as long as we used to. The other thing is, it is true, those guys came along in an era where the way everybody communicated and the way they communicated was a little more free. And you could take it too far if you were a broadcaster back then and get fired, but that was a rare occasion. Now every single person calling a game on any sort of television is scared to death of becoming a viral clip that's negative of something they say. They're terrified of it. So there's some of that also. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You know the same things. All right, let's do it. Headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank, right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related in the state of Mississippi, that's where you want to go. Like here in the metro, also places like Oxford and Starkville and Tupelo and Memphis, and all points in between. mortgagemanms.com. Call them first. Go from there. Trust me. Baseball last night was pretty much a round of blowouts for SEC teams. State beat Alcorn 19-0. Ole Miss beat Jackson State 18-3. LSU beat Nichols 12-1. Georgia was a 12-6 winner. South Carolina beat somebody 12-2. There was one close game in the SEC. It was Alabama and Tuscaloosa playing Alabama State. Alabama won 2-1, but Alabama State out-hit them. Good ball game over there. No Thursday night games. Also, back on Tuesday night, you had Southern Miss going to Southeast Louisiana and Hammond. They won a midweek, and so they're off to their neutral site deal, and they'll play Purdue tomorrow. College football. Well-traveled quarterback Jaden Rashada has settled his lawsuit against the Gators of Florida. How about that? About time. Specifically, he was suing former Florida coach Billy Napier and a Florida booster named Hugh Hathcock. I think he's a car guy. He sued him back in 24, claiming that both of them, Hathcock and Napier, defrauded him by backing out of promises for a name, image, and likeness contract worth as much as $13.85 million. Last month, Jaden Rashada signed to play for Mississippi State this coming year. Previous schools, Arizona State, Georgia, and Sacramento State, a new member of the Mountain West. They got mountains in Sacramento. College basketball news, it's a score. 91-85, State beats Auburn last night thanks to 46 points from Josh Hubbard. Local kid doing big things. He set a school record for three-pointers in a single game with 10. He also had 35 points on 9 threes in the first half. That's the most points in a first half by any Division I player since 2020. He scored 46, 1 point short of tying the all-time record at State. Bailey Howell scored 47 in a game back in 1958, 1959. But here's the deal. Josh, last night, 46 points against Auburn. That's a conference game. That's a school record for the most points ever in a conference basketball game. So a really heck of a night for him. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. White Denzel, thanks for this. He texts me on the country pleasing text line. So the team, the baseball team, they are not allowed to look ahead. They've got Delaware coming in this weekend. State does, starting tomorrow. 3-game series, weather permitting. They can't look past Delaware. But us, the rest of us, we can look ahead because in 2 weekends, State will be out at Globe Life Field in Arlington. And that venue, by the way, is hosting, like every weekend, is hosting some sort of round robin type thing. The teams out there in 2 weekends, when State's out there, are going to be Mississippi State, UCLA. Well, let's do it this way. SEC teams are going to be Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Texas A&M. Other teams are going to be Arizona State, UCLA, and Virginia Tech. So On Friday, February 27th, so a week from tomorrow, State will play the first game of the day, 11 a.m. against Arizona State. Then on Saturday, in 2 weekends, State will play the middle of the day game at 3 versus Virginia Tech. And then on Sunday, March the 1st, State will play at 2:30 against what is now right now the number one team in the country, UCLA. So again, in 2 weekends at the college baseball series deal at Globe Life Field, State will play on Friday at 11, Saturday at 3, Sunday at 2:30. Put it on your calendar and don't change the channel. We'll come back. Plenty of time, but we'll wrap things up when we come back after this. Plus your comments on the live stream, your texts coming up. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local
agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance. Back with you. A little bit of time left and a little bit of coffee left in the thermos, just enough. Man, I tell you what, that worked out perfect. I rationed it out perfectly throughout the show. No, not the information. I mean the coffee. From High Point Roasters in New Albany. That's High Point Roasters in New Albany. Go to highpointroasters.com. highpointroasters.com. Get your coffee today. Miko texted the show, and he says, was the previous record for three-pointers held by Darrell Wilson? Well, it's a good question. I don't know. The story in the notes after that game last night simply said that he set the school record for three-pointers in a single game with 10. As well as, total scoring in a conference game. But it doesn't say who he passed, for either of those things. It did reference that the most points ever scored in a single game by a Mississippi State player was 47 by Bailey Howell in 58-59 season. But that would have been against a non-conference team because 46 from Hubbard last night was the most. But I don't know who had the previous record for the most threes in a game. If it isn't Darrell Wilson, I'll be surprised. Like you, Miko. Hey, and Miko, not to let the cat completely out of the bag, but I'm working on something really, really cool. And I was on the phone with Darrell Wilson earlier today, and I'm going to see him tomorrow morning. He's the head basketball coach at Itawamba AHS High School in Fulton. He's got them in the playoffs. They play, I think they won a playoff game, and they're playing Saturday night at Kosciuszko. See, and Darrell won a title as a player in high school, I'm pretty sure in Alabama, but has not won one yet as a coach. He wants to, I think. Competitors, man. I love learning about, talking to, and sort of getting a good glimpse at the mind of people who are competitors, real competitors, because age or venue or level doesn't matter. It's, man, I want to win. Jason in Flagstaff says, yeah, Sacramento, California is right smack in the middle of the mountains. Northern California, beautiful area. Yeah, they're putting them in the Mountain West. That would be the definitions, mountains and west. So they're in. White Denzel says Bailey Howell holds the most Mississippi State record points in a game, 47. Hubbard second with 46. But what we're saying, Denzel, is 46 for Hubbard last night in an SEC game is the most in school history. That's what we're saying. SEC game, conference game. Will says, are there enough people left in the state of Delaware to field a baseball team? Must be mostly out-of-state students. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I need to look on the roster and see where they're from. I don't really know. Sven says this, Josh Hubbard will come back 100% because Hub is not tall enough for an early NBA pick. He's going to get drafted very late and make his way, and makes way more at state than he will in the NBA. Well, and that's all I was saying earlier. Again, I don't know the numbers, Sven, but I'd be curious to know because as we talk about Well, you got to put a team around him. Yeah, but that costs money. And, you know, where's all the money going? Craig mentioned on YouTube, he said, Ace Reese, 10 hits in 18 at-bats through 5 games. Yeah, it's easy. You watch him, like it's easy to see what the hype is all about. You know, in baseball, people really know. I'm not claiming to be one. I respect the opinions of the baseball people greatly. You know, those who've gone through it. I saw a note from Ryan Gridley. You know, and Gridley was a starter at State, multi-year starter, mostly at shortstop, but on some other, I guess a few starts maybe at other spots. But he's one of those guys that would know. And he was going on about how smooth and sweet the swing is of Ace Reese, left-handed hitter, with no wasted motion and fundamentally good and just smooth. He was going on about that. You can kind of see it, but those guys really do see it. Regarding pitching, Sven said if we have real big leads in the 5th or 6th inning, bring in Jack Bauer, Parker, et cetera, give them an inning or two. They need reps, and they will help us later on big time. You know, I think that's smart. Some midweek experience to get your feet wet that way. Look to see if you get the right opportunity to go weekend stuff and continue to build up the innings and the experience to get them ready to go. But like you say, the question is, what is that situation? You know, is it a 1-run game? Well, they're probably not ready for that unless you just bare bones and don't have anybody left, even as good as they are. It's crazy to talk that way, but it's true. On this day in 1968, a very well-known show, maybe the most well-known ever on public television, made its debut. This day, 1968. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I saw a video recently where a guy went to the PBS station in Pittsburgh where they had the studio where they filmed that all those years in Pittsburgh with Mr. Rogers.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for
And a lot of the original props and stuff in that studio were still there. The original piano used for all the music, the castle that, you know, was a part of the props and shows.
I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you.
They had all that stuff there. It was pretty cool to see. And I saw a quote recently, and I pinned it on my feed over there on X because I love the quote. Okay. It's credited to Fred Rogers, who was Mr. Rogers, made his debut on this day in 1968 on that show. He said, every time I walk into a studio to make a program, my prayer is always, dear God, in whatever we do, let some word that is heard be yours.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
You know, and I thought, man, what a great, I wish I could discipline myself to read that before we start every show here. Let some word that is heard, Lord, be yours. And some days maybe we do, and some days maybe we miss.
I have always wanted to
Anyhow,
have a neighbor.
tip of the cap. It all got started from Mr. Rogers on this day in 1968. Public television up there in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. And I've never been there, but yeah, supposedly you can go to that building, to those studios in Pittsburgh, go in. I think maybe you have to call ahead and arrange it, get yourself a tour of the studio where he filmed those shows all those years, and then see a lot of the original stuff. The piano, the props, and some of those things. It'd be neat to see. So, you know, if you're a kid of a certain age, like me, every time you're at home sick from school, laying on the couch, feeling bad, Mr. Rogers came on, you knew that school was out. Unless it was a replay. Okay, and tomorrow, Friday the 19th, all those series in the state baseball series will start tomorrow afternoon. Both State and Ole Miss are 4 p.m. first pitches tomorrow afternoon. So we'll have another day of preview for that. There are some earlier games. LSU plays Indiana. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. I think the first pitch for that one's around 1 o'clock, so it'd actually start while we're on the air tomorrow. So we may even have some scores and early action to track. But State and Ole Miss, both 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. All right, that'll wrap it up for today on this Thursday in the Bureau. The Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Go! The home team for Beaver. I'm Matt. All of us here on the show. We'll see you tomorrow.